What's going on, guys? This is Sam, and over the past few days, there's been a lot of new Apple news. We finally heard something about the HomePod. We have new information about the 2018 iPad and 3 new models of the iPhone coming in 2018, in addition to the Apple Visitor Center opening and a few other details as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So first up, let's talk about the HomePod. Apple announced this back at WWDC 2017, and they said for the past few months that this would be launching in December of this year, which would have been next month. I was looking forward to making content on a new Apple product in December rather than just in September and October, or I guess the beginning of November with the iPhone 10. But they announced to a few media outlets on Friday morning that the HomePod actually isn't shipping in December of this year. They did not provide any specific reasons, but they said that customers are going to have to wait until sometime in early 2018 to get their hands on the HomePod. Last year with the AirPods, the exact same thing happened. Apple gave us one date and then a few months later said, actually, it's not going to be available until this date in the future. Now the HomePod will not be shipping in 2017 for sure. It's not going to make anyone's holiday wish list. We will have to wait until early 2018, which for Apple, based on what they've said in the past, could be anywhere from January 1st all the way up until the end of April. Now, with that being said, one product that should still be shipping before the end of 2017 is the iMac Pro. Pretty sure it's the most beautiful computer that I've ever seen. It's space gray. Everything is space gray. The Magic Mouse, the keyboard, the display, it looks incredible. It's the most powerful Mac ever created, and I really want one. I think it is my dream computer. The problem is it costs $5,000. So as of right now, I will not be getting that computer, but there's a lot of people that make videos and do a lot of creative work that I think are really looking forward to this computer. It's going to be a beast, and I hope that Apple doesn't end up shipping that later as well. But as of right now, that should be shipping before the end of 2017. Moving on from that, let's go ahead and talk about 2018's iPhones, because the iPhone 10 was just released on November 3rd, but we already have information about what we can expect to see from Apple next year. As I talked about in my last update video, we should be seeing 3 iPhone models just like we saw this year. We're going to see 2 high-end models, like 2 variants of the iPhone 10, a regular size 5.8-inch version, and then a massively sized either 6.5 or 6.6-inch iPhone 10 Plus model, in addition to a pretty big LCD iPhone model as well. And the LCD model is going to be a little bit cheaper, where the 2 iPhone 10 and iPhone 10 Plus models are going to be a little bit more premium, once again, just like the iPhone 10 is now. This week we saw one report from Fast Company and one report from KGI Securities, both saying that the 2018 iPhone models will have 5G LTE support, which is insanely fast. LTE on the iPhone 10 and iPhone 8 models right now is already pretty speedy, but with 5G, you have gigabit capabilities. Now, the challenge is having carriers support those speeds. Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint have to update their entire infrastructure before we see those speeds. It's not one of those things where you can just like make a 4G LTE tower suddenly do 5G gigabit upload and download speeds. The infrastructure just isn't there yet. So even if the next iPhones end up supporting 5G speeds, I don't know how long it will be till we actually get to use those speeds. I'm sure some cities will see the upgrades first before others, but we don't know a lot about carriers' plans to support the new technology just yet. Now, this is a pretty small detail, but what's interesting is that Fast Company says that only Intel is looking to supply these 5G LTE chips for Apple, but KGI Securities reports that Intel will be supplying most of them, but Qualcomm, who has done the LTE chips for a few years in the iPhone, will also be supplying like 20 or 30%. So we don't really know who's going to be the main supplier just yet, or if it will be split, because we're seeing 2 different angles, one from Fast Company, one from KGI Securities. But at this point, I don't really think that matters, because all we need to know is that 5G should be coming to the next iPhone, and that's a really good thing. Now, last week, we also talked a lot about the forthcoming 2018 iPad Pro. Bloomberg had reported that that's going to be a bezel-less design with no home button, Face ID, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous and should be launching sometime in 2018. Although that device will not have an OLED display, 2018 iPad is said to still keep the LCD display like we see on the iPad and the iPhone 8 models now. The new information that we have about the 2018 iPad this week comes courtesy of My Drivers, and they say that the 2018 iPad Pro is going to have an 8-core processor, which is pretty much unheard of. The iPhone 10 and iPhone 8 models right now on the A11 Bionic chip have 6 cores. Bumping that up to 8 cores with an A11X chip would just be ridiculous. If Apple is marketing the iPad Pro to pro users, then having a really fast chip inside is important. I still cannot do my work on the iPad Pro though. I find it misleading that Apple calls this a device for professionals, but I can't edit videos on them. I know there are a few video editing applications on the App Store, but if Apple was even to try to bring Final Cut Pro to the iPad, that would definitely bring my attention to it. I have a 10.5-inch iPad Pro right now. The screen is 120 hertz. It's the best display I've ever seen. It's ridiculously smooth, and I want to see them push the iPad Pro even further. I feel like it's in an okay spot right now, but if they can make the screen even better and make the cameras even better and make the performance even better with this new A11X Bionic chip, I think that is going to continually draw more attention to this tablet that is supposedly supposed to replace your computer. I just don't think they can do that right now. I want to shift over to Black Friday now. Apple has historically been known to not have the best Black Friday deals. I think last year they gave you a gift card with older iPhones and iPads. Like the iPhone 7 was out for Black Friday last year, but if you bought the iPhone 7, you wouldn't get any gift card or perk with it. You would have to buy like an iPhone 6 or a 6S. It was a really weird promo. It wasn't for the latest devices. It felt kind of backwards for a company that usually pushes their new tech forward, and that's usually what companies have deals on, is their new stuff on Black Friday. This year, Apple has not officially announced anything, but if you go to the Apple Store app on your phone right now, or even just apple.com, Apple lists special pricing for some Beats. They have discounts for the Beats Solo 3, the Beats X, and the Power Beats 3. You can save $60 on the Beats Solo 3. They're $239.95. Save $50.95 on the Beats X. They're now $99, and save $40 on the Power Beats 3. They are now $159.95. So if you're looking to buy some new Beats, I'm going to be honest, these aren't the best deals that I've ever seen on a pair of Beats headphones, but if you want to buy them from Apple, or you want to buy them as a gift to someone from Apple, these are decent discounts. I mean, saving 40 or 50 or 60 bucks on a pair of headphones is nice, but I feel like you could go elsewhere and also find pretty good deals on these Beats headphones. I think I also read that Amazon was doing these exact same prices, so if you need that super fast Prime shipping, you can probably look there as well. And I'll leave links to these deals down below in the description if you want to buy some of these headphones and check them out. Ever since I was little, I've really had an interest in Apple products. I don't know why, I just have. So since I've been little, I've wanted to go to Apple's headquarters and see their campus, and that was years ago before they redesigned it to look like a spaceship. This new campus looks incredible, and just the other day they opened their official visitor center. This is gotta be one of the coolest visitor centers in the entire world. Take a look at this. There's a 3D model of the Apple Park design in the middle of this visitor center, and you can take an iPad and do this really cool AR experience that will bring this sculpture to life through AR on an iPad. I've seen some demos of it, and it's really neat. They also have exclusive Apple merch. I believe this picture is from Mac Rumors or 95Mac. You can buy exclusive Apple merchandise there that you can't get anywhere else. You can't buy this online. I would pick up one of these shirts in a heartbeat, but it's one of the perks for the people who go to the store in person, and you can get these cool Apple t-shirts that say Apple Park or with the colorful or black Apple logo on them that you couldn't get if you went to any other Apple store. So that's really cool as well. They also have this roof terrace area. Looks like you can just go up there and chill. On top of all of that, there's also a cafe. This dude just looks hyped to serve everyone there. I would love to visit this place. One question that I have that is totally off the wall is, how much does the stuff at this cafe cost? Is it reasonably priced like a McDonald's or maybe a Culver's, or is it like $15 for a bagel and a bottle of water is $20? Because Apple historically prices their products really high. Like, for example, I'm holding one. This is a $1,200 phone. It's a super random question, and I don't know if anybody has an answer, but if you do, I don't know. I'm just really curious to hear that. But overall, the visitor center looks super cool. Apple has put a lot of work into making the AR experience for the visitors there, having a cafe, the terrace, and there's a full-fledged Apple store as well. I'll have to get there one day because it looks insane. Let's transition back to the rumor mill now, because I want to talk a little bit more about Apple's AR headset. I mentioned this product for the first time ever in my last update video, and it's a really interesting idea. Apple is reportedly working on this AR headset with see-through lenses that will allow you to augment the world around you. We got some new information this week from Quanta Computer, and they said that they are working on an AR headset for an undisclosed company. They have not revealed who they're working on this headset for. But Mac Rumors actually reported on this. They picked this report up, and from the Nike Asian Review, or Nikkei, I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, they said that, quote, "There will be a headset-like gadget with a fully transparent lens that allows users to see through and interact with the environment," which sounds like something that Apple could totally be working on. We heard that this was going to be some sort of apparatus that you put on your head, And now it sounds like there could be lenses that augment the environment around you. Last week, as I was talking about the AR headset, I threw up some really interesting sketches, but to me, this sounds more like the Google Glass that we saw already. Now, last week, Bloomberg said that this technology, this Apple AR headset, would be ready no earlier than 2020. But this report says from Quantum Computer that it will be, quote, no later than the year 2019, end quote, when we see this product. So I think it's interesting that Quantum Computer says no later than 2019, which would be like less than 2 years from now. And Bloomberg says no earlier than 2020, which is more than 2 years from now. Someone has to be lying here, because no later than and no earlier than are two totally different things. I'm sure that the timeline is very up in the air right now. And this is also a product, once again, that we don't know a lot about. I wish I could be like, these are the specs, it's got an Apple A11, it's running this piece of software, this is exactly how it's going to work. But because this product is so far out, Apple's secrecy level is up here. With the new iPhones every year, they're talking to loads of manufacturers about the parts that they need and everything that needs to get set in stone for this product to be produced. But Apple is working on concepts and conceptualizations for this product. We have no idea what it's going to look like. All we know right now is that it's going to be some headset-like device. It's going to work a lot with AR. A lot of Apple executives seem to be really excited AR, especially the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook. And we know, based on what Quantum Computer says, that it now could be coming no later than 2019, which means we would see this launch in under 2 years. There are always new rumors coming out. We're hearing about new products 2 years out and new products coming. It just got delayed, like the HomePod, which is still super disappointing. But anyway, that's gonna wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed it, as always, feel free to drop a like down below. Shameless plug. If you guys want some cool t-shirts, I just launched merch at iupdateos.com/merch. Not only do you get a t-shirt, you help support me, which always helps with this whole ads get a little sketchy situation on YouTube. And of course, subscribe for more videos on Apple in the future. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been Sam, and I'll talk to you in my next video.